Welcome to this video where I show you how to draw this bird with Neocolor II crayons. As you probably know by now, Neocolor II crayons is one of my favorite medium to use, and since I love to draw and paint different things I can see in the nature, I really like to use these crayons for birds. Birds are such fascinating creatures and they are wonderful subject matter for any kind of art really, because there is so much to discover and kind of learn about them and their coloring, and each bird is individual and it's really a lot of fun to look at all those details and try to capture their character. Today I am drawing this greenfinch, which is one of my favorite birds, and it's also a really nice bird to draw since there is so much happening. There are so many different colors and shades of green and gray and blue, and that's what I will try to capture today. And I invite you to draw with me and take inspiration from this video as much as you like. The paper I'm using is mixed media paper. I will have details in the description box below, so you can check all the details there if you're interested to learn more about this. But this is a really good paper for Neocolor IIs. I think it can handle water fairly well, and that's what I would propose to you, that if you are using Neocolor IIs, if you're new to them, pay attention to paper you use and ensure that it has the properties and quality enough to handle at least somewhat wet surface so that you can use enough water. What you can see me doing here is that I will first start building the base layer, so the first layer of color, and for that I like to just add the pigment and the crayon straight on the paper and then use quite a lot of water to activate and mix the pigments together. This is my usual process. If you've been following my channel for a while already, you know this is how I like to approach any kind of water-soluble medium. So I like to first build the first layer and then start adding details. And with Neocolor IIs, one of the best things is that you can so easily just add the crayon on the paper and create those color blocks and let your creativity flow, and your creativity kind of will guide you. At least that happens to me. I just love how easily these crayons collide on paper and how much inspiration I can get from all the colors. You can see me using quite a lot of colors during the process, and that's actually also what I love about Neocolor II, is they're so easy to blend and you can create pretty much any shade with just a few crayons. But if you have a larger set of crayons, like you can see here, all the Neocolor IIs that I own, you can easily mix and match and just create exactly the shade you want, and that's what I really enjoy. While I let the first layer of the bird dry, I will start adding background to my painting or picture. And for that, I will just use 4 different colors and add them here and there. And I think we'll also add a 5th soon, so there will also be some pale blue. But I will add these kind of color blocks here and there. And then I will use a lot of water to ensure that we get kind of that blurry feeling and just have some background color. So we won't be adding detail to the whole background. At the end we will add some details, but mostly it will be this beautiful kind of just different shades and different colors mixed together, giving the impression that there is something back there. It might be a sky or some bushes, leaves, whichever we want to have there. I would use quite a lot of water here to ensure that we can actually dissolve all the pigment and activate the Neocolor II crayons as best as we can. And I'm also here tilting the paper a bit so that I can get a bit smoother transition between different colors and let that water flow a bit more freely on a paper. during this video you will see me using Neocolor IIs in different ways. So in the beginning you saw me adding the color straight on the paper and then using water to activate and mix the pigments together. Then you will also see me using this Caran palette, which has a bit of rough surface, and I can kind of prepare some paints here. So I will add the crayons on this palette and then activate them with water, and that way we can have kind of a palette of paint that we can start adding on top of the initial first layer of color. As you know, this is what I love most about Neocolor IIs. They are so versatile, and at the end of the drawing I will also use the crayons as such to add details, and I won't be activating all the pigment I add on the paper. And this is what I love most, that there are so many different ways to use these crayons, and you can really kind of just adjust them to whichever art topic you've chosen today and whichever style you want to create today. In this video, I've showed you how I like to use Neocolor IIs to draw these kinds of birds. And of course, there are so many different ways one can use these crayons, and this is just one way. I received one comment it was a lovely comment in one of my YouTube shorts about how the painting process kind of improves all the time, and in the end, the end result is actually quite pretty compared to the start of it. And that is so true, and that's how I always approach my art. So usually in the beginning everything looks a bit weird. There might be some color blocks here and there. You can't really see any definition, and even the color blocks might not make sense. But I just love to keep on working and keep on adding and building the layers, and that way kind of creating the end result slowly but surely. So what I'm trying to say here to you is that if at some point you feel that your art isn't looking quite as you like, keep working. Just keep adding and keep kind of analyzing what you could do and where you could maybe improve and what it actually needs. One good tip here is to take a photo of your drawing or painting in different steps, and then step back and take a break if needed, and then look at that photo. You somehow see it a bit differently through the camera lens. Somehow it helps you to see your art a bit differently and see more easily where it needs to have something extra still. But the main thing is, don't give up. And at some point, not every piece of art you make and not every drawing or painting is perfect. You might not be happy with it all the time, but at least you had fun and learned something. So enjoy the process. That's what I'm always hoping and trying to say in my channel, that it's all about enjoying the art journey, enjoying creating art. And of course, if the end result makes you happy, wonderful. If it doesn't, then be happy that you had the process and the experience of creating it. also want to take this opportunity to tell you about a really exciting thing happening on my channel in November. So if you are someone who loves Neocolor IIs and if you like my Neocolor II videos, November will be your favorite month. I have decided to dedicate November solely to Neocolor IIs. There might be some Neocolor ones also involved, but mostly Neocolor II videos. And I call that my Neocolor November, which will start the beginning of November and last for 4 weeks. So there will be lots of Neocolor fun happening on this channel. There will be some tutorials, some tips. I'll be sharing my favorite colors and color mixes, take deep dive into certain colors which I love the most, and also of course share lots of Neocolor II painting and drawing with you. So if you're not yet subscribed to my channel but would love to see more Neocolor II videos, please consider subscribing and joining me for a fun Neocolor II November. I hope so much that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please consider giving it a like and consider also subscribing to my channel and leaving a comment below letting me know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. And let me know also if this video inspired you to create some art. I hope that you will enjoy your own art journey, and whichever medium you love the most, use it today to draw some birds. I'm sure you won't regret it. I will see you soon in my next video. Bye for now.